Hello and welcome to yet another session of AECC, compulsory course of secondary degree of Sarojini, wherein we will be studying a very celebrated and famous poem composed by a very eminent and renowned poet and freedom fighter, Sarojini. The title of the poem is The Gift of India. As we know, Sarojini became associated with the freedom struggle for India's independence and became a follower of Mahatma Gandhi. She was born in 1879 and she passed away in 1949. She was a dedicated activist of the Indian National Congress and also became its president. Her poems are imbued with, replete with patriotism. Before actually looking into the poem, it will not be out of place to take a look at the corpus, the oeuvre. What is oeuvre? Oh, the word is O-E-U-V-R-E. Oeuvre. Oeuvre means corpus. And what is corpus? The corpus is the whole literary body of a writer or a literature, a poet, novelist, and so on and so forth. So, though very small, Sarojini Naidu's corpus, oeuvre, is very meaningful and substantial. As I mentioned, her poems are filled with patriotism. And the present poem is a beautiful example. Actually, the poem is really famous, is really celebrated. Celebrated for patriotism. The poem, The Gift of India, is taken from her anthology, The Broken Wing. She actually has 3 anthologies to her credit. The one from which the present poem has been taken is The Broken Wing. The very title of the anthology speaks of something which is sorrowful, which is painful. See, the broken wing. The wing is already broken. And whose wing it is? It is Mother India's wings, which have been broken, which have been mutilated, which have been severed by the British. The poem, The Gift of India, has been, as I mentioned, is taken from The Broken Wing, and it was composed in 1915. The poem was composed in 1915. What was happening in 1915? India was a British colony being ruled by the cruel British, and World War I had begun in 1914. Now, the British being masters of India, British being rulers of India, they made Indian soldiers participate in the war for them. And 15 lakh Indian soldiers. How many? 15 lakh. They were not less in number. 15 lakh Indian soldiers participated in the First World War for the British. And 75,000 of them were killed. Remember, just imagine 75,000 soldiers being killed. This was very painful. This was very agonizing. This was the British did not offer the Indian soldiers who made the supreme sacrifice. What is supreme sacrifice? Being killed in a war is supreme sacrifice. 75,000 Indian soldiers made the supreme sacrifice. Did they participate in the First World for the sake of their own country? No, they did not. They were made to participate in the First World War by the British. The British had promised India before the commencement and before the enlistment. Actually, it is not enlistment, it is conscription. What is enlistment and conscription? There is much difference between enlistment and conscription. You enlist in army voluntarily on your own. You are not compelled to participate or enlist or to be recruited in army. But when it comes to conscription, the enlistment, the recruitment is forceful. It is not voluntary. So the British conscribed Indian soldiers and compelled them to participate in the First World War for them. For that, they tantalized India. They baited India under the guard that after the World War, India would be given freedom. India would become free. So this tantalization they offered to India. Indians became happy. But they laid down the condition. What was the condition? The condition was that Indian soldiers should participate in the First World War on behalf of the British. Indians had been craving for freedom. Indians had been dying to gain freedom. Indians had been yearning to gain freedom. And Indian youth enlisted in the Indian army, in the British army rather, and they were taken to different countries in Europe and Asia where they participated in the First World War. 15 lakh Indian soldiers. They were not less in number. 1.5 million Indian soldiers. They participated, and about 75,000 of them sacrificed their lives for the sake of motherland, believing and anticipating that the British will free India. British, as usual, very shrewd and cunning. They never kept their word. They never fulfilled their word. Not only that, the Indian martyrs who laid their lives in the First World War fighting for the British, the British did not even offer them state honors. The bodies of these 75,000 Indian soldiers killed in the First World War laid scattered everywhere in Europe and Asia where war took place. The British had been so inhuman, so cruel that they picked, they culled, they gathered their soldiers who made supreme sacrifice, who sacrificed their lives fighting for the British, and offered them state honors, dignity, and offered them befitting burials. But what did they do? What did they do to the Indian soldiers? They did not pick, they did not cull the Indian soldiers. They allowed them to remain unnoticed, unclaimed. So this untold suffering, this untold misery Indian soldiers, the martyrs, had to undergo is described very pathetically, very pitiably, and equally powerfully by Sarojini Naidu. This really is one of the most patriotic poems ever written by Indians. Therefore, Gandhiji called Sarojini Naidu Nightingale of India. Gandhiji rightly called Sarojini Naidu the Nightingale of India. The great poet Rabindranath Tagore called her Bharat Kokila. Rabindranath Tagore called Sarojini Naidu Bharat Kokila. For most of her poems, of course, she composed poems on a score of subjects, on a number of topics and subjects, experiences. But the dominant thematic concern in her poetry is patriotism, is nationalism. Because Sarojini Naidu herself was a patriot of sterling worth, of great worth. And her feeling, her emotions were expressed, manifested through her poetry. So, this poem is essentially embedded in patriotism. She, as I mentioned, she has 3 anthologies to her credit. The one that from which the current poem has been taken is, of course, The Broken Wing, and the other 2 are Golden Threshold. Golden Threshold, and the third one is In the Bazaars of Hyderabad. In the Bazaars of Hyderabad. She was born and brought up in Andhra Pradesh. She was born in Andhra Pradesh and also brought up and educated in Andhra Pradesh. Of course, she went overseas, she went abroad for higher studies. She pursued her higher studies abroad and then returned to India and plunged into the freedom struggle and dedicated all her life for the freedom and independence of India. She married Govinda Rajadu and lived with him right throughout her life. So, let us now turn to the poem itself. The poem runs into 24 lines divided into 4 stanzas, each stanza consisting of 6 lines. The rhyming scheme of the poem is AA, BB, CC, DD, and so on and so forth. It's a beautiful poem. It's an exemplary example, paragon. What is a paragon? Paragon is an ideal example of something or somebody. So it's a beautiful, it's an ideal example of patriotism, manifestation of patriotism. And the poem also evokes, creates pathos, because the real condition of the Indian martyrs is described in the poem. The poem really evokes pathos for the Indian martyrs who laid down their lives for the sake of the motherland. And they were not even noticed. Only their services were abused. Only their services were exploited by the British. They were not offered befitting burials, nor were they brought back to India to be handed over to their families. The Indian martyrs who laid down their lives in the First World War fighting for the British were neither given befitting burials with state honors and dignity, nor were they brought back to India to be handed over to their respective families. They remained unnoticed. Their saga remained untold. They were buried on alien soil, on foreign soil, unnoticed, unsung, untold. So the poem is really patriotic to its core and essence. So we now turn to the poem itself. Is there aught? Now we'll keep writing the difficult words on the board so that they are understood, that meaning is understood. The first difficult word in the poem is ought. A-U-G-H-T. Ought. What is ought? Remember, there is one more ought in English. It is ought. O-U-G-H-T. We have to differentiate between the two words and learn their meanings. Now, this ought is a helping verb, is an auxiliary, which means should. It has suggestion. Ought, O-U-G-H-T, when used, it is a helping, it is an auxiliary, which has some suggestion, which should has. Ought to, you have to use to after ought, implying suggestion. Ought to has a kind of suggestion, and this ought means anything. A-U-G-H-T, ought means anything. So, is there ought means anything. You need that my hands withhold. My hands. Whose hands are these? Here, Mother India speaks. Personification. What is personification? Personification is a figure of speech. Personification is a figure of speech in which human attributes, human qualities are given to non-human beings, rather inanimate objects. Human attributes, human qualities are assigned to inanimate beings. So here, personification is used. Mother India is personified here. Mother India speaks here. And what does Mother India say? And who does she address? She addresses the British. She addresses the British, saying, asking, posing a question, posing a rhetorical question. What does she ask? Is there anything you need that my hands withhold? Do you need anything else? Even now, whereas I have given everything to you, I have opened all my treasures. I have opened, you have exploited all my riches. You have looted everything. You have plundered everything. I don't think there is anything now which needs to be given to you. You have already taken it. You have already grabbed it and taken it to your hand. Still, she now asks the British, is there anything that my hands have withheld from you? There is nothing which still remains to be given to you. So she asks the British the question, is there anything even now which needs to be given to you? have taken, you have claimed, you have grabbed everything. You have taken everything, you have looted India. You have pillaged India. You have plundered India like anything. Only you have taken the life out of India, only the dead body is remaining now. You have taken everything. You have taken everything. What has Mother India given to the British and other foreign invaders? History tells us that India has always been invaded by alien raiders and invaders and attackers. Right from ancient times through medieval times till the arrival and granting of power by the British. Everybody has invaded India and plundered its riches and wealth, treasures. So India has always given everything to everybody. India has given everything to everybody. Now, do you still think that there is anything else which needs to be given to you now that you have been ruling India for the past so many years, decades? You have given India already. Is there anything else to be given even now? Mother India asked the question. What kind of gifts Mother India has already given to the British and other invaders? Rich gifts of raiment. Raiment. Raiment is clothing, fabric, cloth, rich clothes, regalia, rich clothes, grain, rich food, and gold. Everything you have looted, you have plundered, you have already pillaged. You looted. I don't think there is anything else. Lo means see. See, I have flung to the east and the west, priceless treasures torn from my breast. See, my riches, my wealth, my treasures lie now in every nook and corner of the world. It is not just the British who have looted India, Mother India, but the riches of Mother India, the wealth of Mother India, the treasures of Mother India, the gold and other metals and rich stones like diamond, sapphire, ruby, this and that. Everything lies flung. Everything lies rooted in India to the core. Everywhere. Mother India's wealth lies, Mother India's treasure lies across the globe, across the world. You have already looted everything. You have already stripped me. You have already mutilated me. You have already injured me to the core and substance. What else now remains to be given to you? Mother India asks the question to the British. Lo, I have flung to the east and the west priceless treasures, precious treasures, valuable treasures, torn from my breast, taken away from my breast, taken away from my breast, perforce, forcibly. You have taken everything. You have invaded India, you established yourself here as rulers, and you have looted and exploited India like anything. There might not be any parallel in the world of exploitation against India. You have sucked the whole blood in the body of Mother India. What else remains to be told and taken? And relayed the sons of my stricken womb. You have looked at everything already. Now you have taken away my sons from me. You have deprived me of my sons. And how many sons are there? 15 lakh Indian youth participated in the First World War. And out of them, a staggering, a whooping 75,000 20,000 soldiers sacrificed their lives for the sake of the motherland. As the British had promised India that she would be given freedom in the wake of the war. But the British are very sly. They turned their word. They never gave India freedom after the conclusion of the First World War. The British similarly gave a word to the Indian during the Second World War. They have similarly promised, falsely of course, in the Second World War that India would be given freedom after the conclusion of the war, but they did not. They retracted. What is retraction? Retraction is speaking, giving somebody a promise and not keeping it. So the British retracted, turned their word around, did not keep their word and promise. Both on the occasion of the First World War and also the Second World War. The Indians, under the fond desire of attaining freedom from the British, participated innocently in the World War. But India was never given freedom. India was never given freedom. The British continued ruling and exploiting India. So she now asks the British, you have looted everything, you have taken away everything. Now you have taken my sons also. Torn from my breast. Every son for me is close to my heart. And you have torn, you have broken away the soldiers, my sons, and taken them forcibly, perforce, to participate in the First World War for your selfish gains. And yielded the sons of my stricken womb to the drum beats of the duty. What is the duty? The sabres of doom. One more difficult word. Sabres. Curved swords. Curved swords. To the drum beats of the duty, the sabres of doom, I have rendered my sons to the ordeal of war. When you participate in a war and battles and violence are cause death and destruction. Once you participate in a war or battle, you are as good as no more. You die. You are killed. So Mother India now asks the British, I have rendered my sons, my precious sons, to the ordeal, to the test, to the acid test of war and violence. Because war is a theatre of death. War is a theatre of death. You never return safe and alive. You hardly return safe and alive from war. So I have rendered, I have submitted my dear sons, my dear youth to you. And you have subjected them to the ordeal of war, to the crucible of war. What else do you want now? What else do you want now? You have looted, exploited and abused everything from me. What you have left is my corpse, my dead body. You have taken the life in it away from me. You have left me, you have rendered me just a moving corpse, just a dead body, just a moving dead body. There is no life in it now. So she asked the British, you have taken even my sons now. Gathered like pearls in the alien graves. Gathered like pearls in their alien graves. They were killed. And 75,000 of them were killed. They were not given befitting burials. They were not offered state honors and dignity. They were martyrs. They attained martyrdom. But the British very cruelly, very inhumanly selected their own soldiers and offered them befitting burials and state honors. The corpses, the dead bodies of the Indian soldiers laid scattered in various countries, unnoticed, unclaimed, untold. Their bodies decomposed. How shameful, how inhuman, how cruel, how ruthless the British did. They picked their own soldiers and they gave them befitting burials. They offered them state honors, but they left asunder, they left adrift the Indian soldiers who made equal sacrifice. What equal? They made supreme sacrifice. They laid down their lives for the British. And the British, very ungratefully, they turned their back against them. They did not offer them a befitting burial and state honors. Gathered like pearls in their alien graves, alien foreign days, they were scattered after being killed in various countries of the world. There was no one to look after them and look after their dead bodies. They were unnoticed, unsung, untold. Even a civilian passes away, he is given befitting honors, paid homage, paid condolence, and all other things. But here, 75,000 sons of India made the supreme sacrifice, laid down their lives for the sake of the country, anticipating that the British would give them freedom, remained unnoticed, unsung, untold. Here lies pathos. The poem is successful in evoking, in creating great pathos. The tone of the poem is really pathetic. It creates pathos. Gathered like pearls in their alien graves, silent they sleep by the Persian waves. They lie in all the parts everywhere where war took place. Be it Persia, be it France, be it Egypt, be it Flanders, which is in Italy. Everywhere, the dead bodies of the Indian soldiers are lying scattered, unnoticed, uncared, not taken care of, untold. But the British, very ungratefully, selfishly, picked their own soldiers and offered them befitting burials and state honors and dignity. Here, pathos lies. Silent they sleep by the Persian waves, scattered like shells. You have here similes being used. Simile. Simile is one more figure of speech wherein comparison is made between two similar, dissimilar objects with the help of words like and as. Simile makes use of words like as and like to make a comparison between two things. So here in the first line, gathered like pearls, moti. So they are gathered, they are collected like pearls. They are real gems. They are real pearls, real treasures of India, real wealth of India, real riches of India. They are more precious, they are more valuable than pearls and rubies and sapphires and emeralds and other precious stones, because they made the supreme sacrifice. They laid down their lives for the sake of country, for the sake of the British, and also for the sake of the country, motherland. So silent asleep by the Persian waves, they were scattered. The dead bodies of the Indian soldiers remained scattered in Persia, Egypt, France, Italy, and everywhere wherever war took place. There was nobody to look after the Indian soldiers, to take care of the Indian soldiers. They remained scattered, unnoticed, untold, and unsung. Not only that, they were not offered even befitting burials and state honors and dignity. Scattered like shells on Egyptian sands, everywhere, everywhere, everywhere they remained scattered and unnoticed. Here we stop, we take a break, and in part 2 of the poem, of course the series, we will continue and try to complete the poem. Thank you.